Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome back to my channel. This is your sis Kathy Yvette, and I am so happy to be coming back to you for a new season 6 of Sistas. Oh my God, we are about to see what's going on with Sabrina, Danny, Andy, and our girl Karen. And we can't forget Fatima, right? And our girl Pam. You know she keeps things popping. So let's get into it for the new season. Now, you know, we ended the season with Q and Maurice struggling. And I'm so happy that it wasn't Maurice that got shot. Q is laying there hurt. Maurice is ready to run. And I'm like, please don't do that, because Sabrina helped to put all this money up for you. But they're stressing. They're a little scared, frantic. You know, Anthony came up because he knew something was going off, and they are in shock. Now we see our girl Danny. She is at the bar, and the bartender is like, you know, she had a little bit too much to drink, and in comes Preston. Now Preston got some real crap with him this season, because, you know, he wants to talk to Danny, inviting her over there with him and his girl Mindy, and she like, you know, you got some shady shit going on, which she really does, and she was pissed, and so was I. So our girl bartender, you know, being concerned, called Andy. And of course, Andy was like, okay, she's there. And like the sister that she is, she calls the rest of the girls. She contacts Sabrina, let her know Danny's drunk here at the bar. And she was like, okay, I'm going to call Karen. So, you know, the ladies always do that chain effect. So they called Karen. Karen was about to go to the shop, but she says, I'm on my way down at the bar. Now, we have Quincy, the cop, showed up, and, you know, he's on the stretcher. They're taking him to the ambulance, and Maurice is just upset, giving this cop a hard time. Now, did anybody notice this cop laughing? Because Maurice is such a nut, and I think this actor was really trying to keep from cracking up. You know, in real life, this would not have went down the way it did with Maurice. He was just popping off at the lip, getting sarcastic, and I'm like, bruh, chill, because you know you still out on this bell, and you don't need any problems. And you know Calvin was stressing. He didn't want him to start any waves either. So, you know, they was released. They very well could have went down to the station, but the cop released him. And like Anthony said, anything you need to know, you can find it on the camera. You know, they know that Q came there with a gun, and all that went on with the struggle, it wasn't Maurice. And it's one of those things, you and me. So we have our favorite couple, Zach and Fatima, and they're really talking about, you know, Zach is like, doesn't know how he got so lucky. He's just really happy that Fatima is by his side. But they're also talking about the issues with the baby mothers. We know the situation with Karen, but he's a little concerned about his oldest son and what's going on with him. And so Fatima is basically saying, we just gonna have to wait and see. We'll go, you know, invite them over by us, and we'll also go over there by them and see how they living. And, you know, don't jump the gun, basically, Zach. Just let us wait and find out, you know, how this really pans, you know, this works out. So, you know, they really just sharing their future and how things have been going, you know, in their lives. And Zach really curious to know how many people Fatima has slept with, because she was like, you know, I don't need any more women knocking on my door. He was like, no, I'm cool, you know, my pullout game is good. And I'm like, Zach, it ain't that good, and because you have not been safe with it. But she let him know, you know, I've only been with 7 people. And he's like, in your whole life? And she's like, yeah, you know, I had, you know, 3 randoms, but everybody was long-term relationships. I don't go hopping around like that. But of course, he couldn't tell how many he slept with, because, you know, Zackety Zach, he's been all over the place. But she said, you know, I'm here for these 2. I don't care what you did before, but let it be known if anybody else pops up or any other drama, and I don't blame her. I don't know, Zach. I just really don't know. I don't know if she's going, how much more she can take. I don't know how many women can take this, especially just basically going a year in on a relationship. So he's like, you really going to sleep? And she was like, yeah, after talking about your baby mamas, you really want to do something? So he was like, yeah, you got a point there. So I guess they going to sleep. Now back at the bar. Now, you know, when the season ended last year, they was really going hard on our girl Danny, but they love her, and they was concerned because she's really been off the chain. sleeping with Q, that random crazy guy that abused her, all of that. But they just wanted to apologize because they realized at the end of the day, Danny was right. She was right what she said. Sabrina said, you was right about me and Calvin. And she's like, really, I'm sick and tired of you and Calvin. And Andy said, you right about me and Gary. My whole issue is letting go. Now, come on, Queens. How many of us have had that problem? Someone that's really tethered to us, so to speak, those soul ties, that person you can't let go. It gets hard. And sometimes we get stuck on stupid. And I hope that, over time, Andy will finally let that go. So, um, Danny's like, what you got to say, Karen? Because she pretty much quiet and all that. And she said, and it's surprising because I see a lot of maturity kicking off the season with these women as far as I think reflections on their life. And maybe they'll tackle some things and get in their lives together. Because Karen said, you're right. I'm going to take a paternity test. Guess she found out about another test to really make sure who is my child's father. And then she let them know about old boy Aaron, and the drama with some woman coming to my salon. Just when I'm putting down my walls and, learning to trust, this man comes up and brings this mess to me. She was like, I knew it was just too good to be true. And he not even answering my calls or anything. But he wants to talk later. So they like, wow, okay. So she said, we all got our crap, girl. All of us. It's not just you, Danny, but we're here for you. That's why we came, because we love you. I guess they felt bad about beating up on her. And Sister is really going through it. And one of the main reasons that's really digging in her soul and got her messed up is the guy right across with his little girlfriend back there that he may be getting engaged to a few feet behind him. That's what's really stressing Danny out. So I'm already a little teed off this season with Preston because, bruh, you got a lot of crap with you. So at this point, the girls are chilling and they like, oh boy is right over there. So Danny pops up over at the table. And so girls were a little scared, but they let her go. Can't stop Danny. So she's like, oh, you Mindy? And she's like, yeah, Preston told me about you. And then she's like, uh-huh. And so, Preston comes up with some crap about, don't start, because Danny let it all out. First of all, do you realize that ring you got on your finger is the ring that he gave me? You okay with that? Yeah, I told him, he got to think some things out, just work it out. I want to make sure he's serious. And she was like, you okay with that? Like, this is truly some white girl crap. But I know some white girls that ain't even going to take this mess. So she really better wake up and not have Preston play these games with her, because bottom line, this man is basically pouring his heart out to me, and now you okay with the fact that he put a ring on you that I didn't want? Did you know that's the ring that he gave me? And no, she didn't know that. A man is not going to tell you everything. So she's sitting there now looking like Boo Boo the Fool. And I don't care how understanding you are, don't let man play games with you like that. You know what you want to do. You either want me or you not, but I'm not going to sit up in this woman's face and look like an idiot, and I'm wearing the ring that you gave her because she turned you down. Really? So Daddy was cutting up all kinds of ways. I'm like, girl, you are too much. So she brought some serious comedy to this scene, but the discomfort on Preston's face lets you know he messed up. And I don't know why he wanted them to meet. Did you really think that Danny was going to not say anything? She was not going to put all the cards in the table? Because like this season is titled, Straight No Chaser. That's our girl, and that's how I like it. Don't play games with me. You going to get the A, B, C, and D. Don't come with me with all this roundabout crap, because old girl needs to know what we've been dealing with. We in this little love triangle thing here because, Preston, you need to chill. You going to bounce back to your girl who's that was agreeing to marry you just because Danny wouldn't. You can't take your time to get to know her. You really full of it right now, Preston. You impatient. So this is how you do her. So at this point, I'm with Danny right now. So the girls like, we better go over there. A little bit too much is going on. Karen said, yeah, I got to go to my shop and check on Pam, make sure she holding it down. And in the meantime, old boy Gary calls Andy. I'm wishing bees and ants and all kind of crap was in them flower petals that he got spread over that bed, just biting his tail up. I know that's so wrong to say, but I'm like, Gary, you make me so sick. You laying up there always trying to act like, You the shit and don't do no wrong. And of course, he telling her, you saw the picture that I sent you all sprawled out on her bed. And she like, yeah, you know, we know where her weakness lies. So she about to check him out later. And of course, Sabrina overheard and she's like, that's Gary. You gonna see him? And she's like, yeah, we already know Sabrina. Now, Danny is still going out there. And she tells her girls, wait a minute, do y'all know? He just told her he gonna leave her at the hotel while he come back and talk to me. They like, huh? Even they thought that was crazy. Like, Preston, I gave you a little more credit than this, bro. I gave you a little more credit. This is low down, and somebody really needs to check you, and you need to get your head in the game as to who you want. But playing with Mindy or playing with Danny, this whole situation is not the way you get a woman. And he tells her, well, I never been in a situation like this before. And she, I never been in love like this. And Mindy thought she was talking about her. She was like, you don't know. He could be talking about me. Do you know who he talking about? She had to really think about that because he was really talking about Danny. Now, here we got Aaron calling Karen. He wants to talk. She's like, oh, now you want to talk? Because he's waiting outside her house, of course, on his time. So she was on her way to the shop, which she should have kept on going. But she said, I'm going to make a U-turn and come back and talk to him. Now, Calvin and Maurice is back at the house. And he really don't care if Q dies or not. But, he ain't sympathizing. And Anthony was like, but I don't want to see him dead. Which you don't. You don't want to see the man dead. You don't need a murder charge right now. You're still trying to deal with this bank robbery crap. So he's pissed off because he was like, my Posturepedic bed, all my stuff is gone because of this man. And so we still have a problem. So we better be patient and wait to see what happens with his status. Now, Karen gets to her apartment and Aaron's waiting outside. He wants to come in. I'm like, Joker, after what happened with this woman? Heck no, I don't blame her. You're not coming in my house running this game. Now, I was always suspect. You remember in the past, I said I'm not too sure about Aaron. He's a good guy, but he's a little too good. So I don't know. I want to know and put in the comments, like, how quick between he's saying you didn't know what you wanted. So that's when he got involved with this woman. But you never gave up. You never gave up, Aaron. You never missed a beat with being with Karen. So what are you talking about? How does this other woman get in the picture? So Karen realizes that Pam, after she sent her the picture, guess what? She left the curling iron on just like, Karen thought. And she goes back to the salon and it's burning down. But I'm like, why, Karen? Why would you go into a burning building and you're pregnant, girl? What's wrong with you? And what happens? She collapses on the floor. The extinguisher's not working. She's coughing. She should have been out the door. The doors are probably... But no, instead of leaving out the door, what does Karen do? She stays in and falls out. Now, I hope this doesn't have any drastic repercussions on Karen's baby, but as we saw with the season's previews, she'll be all right. She's going to make it out. Someone will be there. I think Aaron is on his way, so he'll be able to rescue her. So can't wait to find out next week, fam. Until next time, peace.